Welcome to Muffed. Let's dig into the season. This is the Falcons 2025 season in review. Muffed! The Atlanta Falcons finished 8-9, missed the playoffs for the 8th straight season, and watched Carolina take the NFC South on head-to-head tiebreaker after all three division contenders ended up at the same record. The year was a tale of two units pulling opposite directions, an attacking, sack-hunting defense that gave the franchise something real to build on, and an offense that never found its rhythm, especially after second-year quarterback Michael Penix Jr. tore his ACL in the Week 11 overtime loss to Carolina. There were genuine highs: the Week 4 shootout win over Washington, the Week 6 home statement against Buffalo, a late 4-game closing kick that included beating Tampa and the Rams, but also lows that get coaches fired, like the Week 3 shutout in Carolina and the Week 14 home blowout against the eventual Super Bowl champion Seahawks. Hours after the Week 18 win over New Orleans, Raheem Morris and general manager Terry Fontenot were let go, and Atlanta moved on to Kevin Stefanski as head coach and Matt Ryan as president of football operations. One-line tone, a team that found its defensive identity and lost its quarterback in the same breath. Now to the team by the numbers. Atlanta scored 353 points and allowed 401, about 20.8 per game on offense against 23.6 allowed, the kind of negative margin that usually produces exactly this record. The offense finished with minus 7.5 total expected points added through the air and minus 14.6 on the ground. Expected points added measures how much each snap moved the needle towards scoring, so both phases were slightly below break even all year. The most damning number, third down conversion rate at 34%, 13th percentile, bottom 5. And this was boom or bust, not steady. Atlanta hung 34 on Washington and 29 on Tampa, then got shut out in Carolina, scored 9 against Seattle, and dropped 10 spots against San Francisco and Miami. Wild swings, almost no middle ground. Now let's talk about the passing offense. The headline: 217.8 passing yards per game and a season passing expected points added of minus 7.5. Middle of the pack on volume, slightly underwater on efficiency with a real before and after split. Through Penix's 10 starts, the passing game sat at minus 13.8 expected points added, minus 0.04 per play. After he tore the ACL in Week 11 and Kirk Cousins took over the final 7 games, the unit posted plus 6.3 expected points added at plus 0.03 per play, but the team leaned harder on the run, with shotgun rate dropping from 95% under Penix to 61% under Cousins. Drake London was the clear number 1 target when healthy: 68 catches, 919 yards, 7 touchdowns in just 12 games, with a 30% target share and 40% of the air yards. The entire downfield passing game ran through him. The killer was turnovers in scoring range: 16 offensive giveaways, including the Cousins pick 6 to New Orleans safety Justin Reed in Week 12 that went 49 yards the other way and swung an 8-point expected points play. That's the passing offense in a sentence: efficient enough in stretches, ruinous when it broke. Now let's dig into the rushing offense. Atlanta rushed for 126.9 yards per game and 17 touchdowns on the ground, but per carry expected points added came in at minus 0.03, volume without efficiency. The massive exception was Bijan Robinson, who set a franchise single-season scrimmage yards record with 1,478 rushing yards on 287 carries, 79 catches for 820 more, and 11 total touchdowns. And his plus 526 rush yards over expected was elite-tier ball carrier production. The defining snap, Week 17 against the Rams, 2nd and 10 from the Atlanta 7, Robinson hit the right side and went 93 yards for the longest run in franchise history. Outside Robinson's explosives, the ground game was boom or bust. The offensive line wasn't consistently moving people. Red zone touchdown rate landed at 22% overall, 88th percentile, top of the league, and that's where the rushing unit earned its keep. Next up, the pass defense. This is where the season was actually fun. Atlanta racked up 57 sacks, a single-season franchise record, and the second highest total in the league, 97th percentile, on the back of coordinator Jeff Ulbricht's blitz-heavy attacking philosophy. The pass defense allowed minus 16.9 expected points added on the season, and remember, on defense, a big negative number is good. That's 63rd percentile, solidly above average. They forced 21 takeaways and held opponents to a 16% red zone touchdown rate, both top quartile marks. Edge rusher Jalen Walker was the disruptive force this unit was built around, including a Week 9 strip sack of Drake May in the second quarter that fellow rookie James Pierce recovered and returned 27 yards to the New England Six, exactly the kind of game-changing pressure that defined the year. The wobble was consistency, sacks in bunches against the Vikings, Bills, and Saints, but they allowed 34 to Miami in Week 8 and 37 to Seattle in Week 14. Boom or bust, but the boom was real. And the run defense, the soft spot, Atlanta allowed 126.8 rushing yards per game and 4.6 yards per carry, with a rushing expected points added allowed of plus 12.9. On defense, you want that number negative, so a positive double-digit figure means opposing run games consistently gain more than they should have. 25th percentile, bottom 8 in the league. It was a steady weakness, not a variance issue. Opponents averaged about 127 rushing yards a game, whether the Falcons won or lost. The pass rush carried the defensive identity. The interior couldn't hold up against gap schemes, and that's the single clearest fix-it line item out of 2025. Muffed! Season MVP is Bijan Robinson. 1,478 rushing yards on 287 carries, 79 catches for 820 more, 11 total touchdowns, plus 526 rush yards over expected, and a new Falcons franchise record for scrimmage yards in a season. The number one fix is interior run defense, 126.8 rushing yards allowed per game and 4.6 a carry, 25th percentile, and it was that bad all year long. Close second, a 34% third down conversion rate on offense that lived in the bottom 5 of the league and made every drive feel like a tightrope walk. That's the Falcons 2025 season. 2 things before you go. 1, if you want this every week when the season kicks off, subscribe to the Falcons feed wherever you're listening. 2, if you want the same treatment for your fantasy roster, head to muffed.ai and we'll build you a custom weekly show. That's the wrap.